They have a saying that sailing is just boat repair in exotic locations. And since I'm fixing up a $1 boat to sail around the world, I'm really conscious of the kinds of tools that I'm going to be using and bringing with me. On a sailboat, you have a limited amount of space, even on a boat as big as mine, and I need to be thoughtful and deliberate with what I bring. It has to serve multiple purposes, and that's why I'm really excited to talk about the Makera Carvera Air, this amazing, amazing machine, which I have no right to have because I don't know the first thing about CNC, and I am going to be learning this all alongside of all of you. And if you are a CNC person, just plug your ears a little bit, grit your teeth, because this might be a little bit painful.
All right, in this episode, I'm going to use this CNC machine that fits on your table to make something for my boat. I'm going to go from a complete and total novice. I haven't even owned a 3D printer yet, and I'm going to make something out of a CNC machine. This should be fun, right? It also came with a ton of extra goodies, so I'm just going to go through all of this. Makera is really big on this being an all-inclusive system, so you shouldn't need anything else other than what it comes with to get started at the very least, which is great because I have no experience with any of this, so I wouldn't even know what to order. But this machine is an all-in-one solution, so of course it comes with the essential milling bit set, old school looking and like leathery kind of look to it.
Laser
bit, so if I want to
laser
cut anything, I've got a
laser.
It's not just cutting, but
Laser
cutting. Hell yeah. Also came with the super nice 4th axis. So this turns my mill, or CNC mill, into also a CNC lathe. I get to do both at the same time. Toolkit, it has more bits, so I guess that would have been the basic bit set, and then I've got the extra bonus bit set. So you can actually put designs through on a tablet and literally have the tablet display stuff on the side, so that's what that's for. And of course my last box here is my materials, some aluminum, but I've also got some ABS and some PCB board. So there's a lot of stuff you can make with all of this. Let's get started, let's get this thing fired up, we'll get the software going, and we're gonna figure out what we're gonna make for my boat.
Now, my journey with any kind of machining started with a Sureline lathe and a Sureline mill. I got those only because Local was getting rid of them. I got a decent price on them, and I messed around with them a little bit, but I am no machinist, and I had some friends like help me do a couple of little projects, but yeah, you know, I burned out a lot of tools and I didn't really know what I was doing, and eventually I kind of realized that although the Sureline line are very flexible and adaptive to a lot of stuff, they're just not user-friendly at all. And keeping them around simply wasn't worth the space they occupied in a boat, just because of how labor-intensive every little job on those were. And I just didn't see a way to make that work long-term, because the amount of hours you spend tooling little things just never made sense. And maybe it might make sense if I'm on a tropical island somewhere and getting anything shipped is weeks and weeks and weeks out. But where I am right now, I figured there's better solutions. I can sort this out. I can really figure this out. And that's where the Carvera Air came in. Makera sent this one out. I didn't pay for it, but it is, and it's not like cheap, you know, it's not incredibly cheap, but if you know anything about CNC, this is a very affordable machine. This is incredibly affordable compared to the prices that the CNCs can climb to, and it does an incredible amount with that limited budget. This thing has Wi-Fi, has its own internal computer, has the ability to cut up to aluminum, basically. So that's brass, bronze, aluminum, plastics. It has laser modules, so it can engrave. It can cut all the woods that you might want. You can do a lot of carving with this thing. And it's got a 4th axis, so it can carve in 3 dimensions. It's not just flat plate stuff that you're used to seeing on some other CNC machines, although it does do that pretty good. It is really got a lot of capability for such a tiny little machine. Air input, vacuum input, Wi-Fi. I'm so excited to get started on this. So let's get started on it, and let's run through some of the sample programs that they've sent out with it. Right, I've got the Carvera Air connected via USB-C to my laptop. I can also connect it over my local Wi-Fi network or through its own Wi-Fi network. Unfortunately, my Wi-Fi card on my laptop just died recently, so it's USB-C for me, but I've got options. And I've loaded Carvera Air controller or Carvera controller to my laptop. Now I could have put that also on a phone or a tablet, and it comes with a phone or tablet holder to hang off the side, because that application is really used for controlling the device. So having that touchscreen right next to it is a very nice feature if that's something you have. But for me, I do all my work on my laptop anyways, and it's a small boat. I'm not very far from anything, so I can pull files off of Fusion 360 and then load them onto the Carvera controller app all here, and then load it directly to the device. Now the files do get transferred to the device physically, so if the cable gets jostled while it's cutting or the Wi-Fi network goes down, if anything but the power goes down, it'll still keep cutting and doing its thing. It has an internal computer, like I said, and it could buffer all of that stuff inside the device. So that's a really nice feature. And if you're worried about connectivity or any other jostling things around when you're on a boat, there's always variables, isn't there? So checking in on the Carvera Air, they do have some examples loaded, and they also came with some sample blank sheets of material for me to cut into. So let's go load up one of these examples and see what it does.
Luckily, they have a YouTube video walking you through the whole process, so that's really going to be useful for me. I've never put anything in a CNC machine, so I really don't want to break this right out the gate. Of course, if you don't want to watch the YouTube videos, you can also go look at the example booklet that comes with the samples. Everything you need to basically get started and make a few trial projects is right here. There's 4 projects in here. We've got an LED light where you have to make 3 separate pieces, including a circuit board. There's a laser engraving, looks like a beautiful portrait. We got a 3-axis relief, that's the one we're gonna do right now, and a 4-axis relief. That one is a little bust of Nefertiti. Pretty cool, eh? So we'll dig through these and get the party started. It comes with literally everything we need, all in this tool case right here. We have these bolt tie downs that we can just add onto the side here. Longer bolts, wrong lever. Now I have a little bit of experience with this because I did have that Shoreline toolkit, and so these things are a little weird at first, the way that they hold stuff down. If you're used to just working in a workshop and using a regular vise and other things like that, it's not really like that with machining. They like to bolt things down and really lock them in without the kind of quick access that you're maybe used to in a workshop, because this will sit in the machine for quite a while. And the other thing too is we're not cutting right up to the edge of these pieces. We're actually just going to cut a relief, and then the last cut that the machine makes, it actually cuts it out of the piece. So our pieces that we're working with are usually just slightly bigger than the finished product, or we're working within the edges because you still need some way to hold it down. There's other methods, of course. They even have this double-sided tape that they use in this application sometimes, which is yeah, fascinating to see how that's going to work. Locked in. And so now I just have to switch the tool. Oh, that is stiff. From this little probe thing here to my
laser
probe that's wired in. Hopefully the spindle doesn't start spinning and just rip that thing completely out. All right, let's get back to the computer. Oh, sick! So it's got a little button it presses to make sure the tool is in for the right depth. And then as soon as it senses that, it can come over here. This is the
laser
probe, so it's actually going to trace the outline of my working area, and I can ensure that there's no bolts or tie downs or hold downs that are going to get in the way, or that it wanders off the task. So like a little safety feature. Okay, so now it's going to get me to just change out the tool. And it's telling me, please change to tool number 1, which I forgot to get out ahead of time. Very organized, I swear. 25mm single flute. Well, that's pretty hard actually. It's kind of stiff, but I guess that's its job. And this time I'm going to close up the case. It's going to make some dust! And I can just press this button. And then it's going to do the little button press to ensure that the tool's in place. Now it's going to start doing it! So it's chewing out most of the material now. This is awesome. Alright, that's really clever. It tells you tool number 2, 2 lights. Makes sense, right? Stop throwing things on the ground! 2 30° 0.2mm V-bit. 30° 0.3? 0.2. Wow, look at all the options. It seriously comes with so many bits. Thread milling bits? You cut threads with this? What? This is why I'm glad they have a YouTube video, because they don't have pictures of the bits on this page right here. Alright, it was the metal one. Go. Loaded the 30° 0.2mm V-bit. Press the go button. It does the pokey button. Go back to cutting. This is the new soundtrack of Perihelion. Oh, I got so many projects to do. I'm really glad they like preloaded these things because I just need to see it work once. Now I'm gonna keep studying up and figuring out how to make my own. Okay, we have a 3D relief cut and we have a 4th axis 3D relief cut. Both of them cool example pieces that were already built into the machine, came preloaded with it. Another thing that the machine comes with a free subscription to is some CAM software. So if you're a complete novice like me, there's 3 pieces of software that you need to do CNC cutting. You need the actual CNC controller software. That's just what I use to actually port the equipment over. That's all I've used so far. Now we're going to download Makera's CAM software, and we're going to start messing around with it. And in order to get a design, to make a design that we want to work with, we're also going to use a regular AutoCAD program. In my case, I used a free subscription to Fusion 360. So I'm going to make a quick design in Fusion 360, and hopefully we're going to turn this brass plate into vents prevent covers, prepare helium. Alright, I found my first problem with the Carvera Air. It's probably a problem with me not knowing how to do this, but I think if they're trying to make it a beginner-friendly CNC machine, then maybe it's a problem with them as well. But basically, I had a power outage, I overloaded my inverter, and it was on task like 2,370 of 12,000 tasks that it was doing for this one cut. I can't get it to resume there. I have to get it to start over from the beginning again now, which is very frustrating. Apparently there is an AI summary solution for that, and that's, like most AI summaries, garbage, and just a lie. And then everything else seems to be for other CNC machines. I don't think that they've thought this one into the system. At least they haven't made it obvious, let's put it that way. I've gone through every button I can on the Carvera control application, and I cannot find a resume task button anywhere. So I guess I'll just start it all over from scratch. Cut holes that aren't there. Cheers. All right, it's finally cutting, and I think we're out of the... Do you hear that? That little bump right there? That's one of the another mistake I made, but I'm letting it run. So when you're in the Makera CAM software, basically you take your STL file or something from Fusion 360, some design. You can even just go and find stuff online and download it, and then bring it into the Makera CAM software. Basically, you're going to select the project, all of the lines on once you do it. Like this is a 2D cut. This is the simple stuff, right? We're starting with just with 2D. You bring it into the software, you select all the paths. When you go to select a new tool path, you've got 2D pocket, 2D contour, 2D drilling, 2D chamfer, and 2D thread. So there's options on how you want to cut. That problem right there is I picked contour instead of pocket. So because I picked contour, it's only doing the outside perimeter of the hole as it goes down, and as soon as it gets through the material, it leaves a little stub of brass in the center, and that's what you're hearing pop right there. Yeah, probably not great for my tool, but it's already 2.5 hours into the project, and I don't want to stop it because I don't know how to get it to restart, plus I'd have to redesign the thing. Anyway, I'm not going to do that. We're going to do a contour cut, and then we're going to do a chamfer cut, and that's it. But the cool thing about this is I now have one plate coming out of the press. I can go and make another and another and another exactly the same, back to back to back to back, as many as I want. And the work is far less the further along you go. It's going to take a while to produce each one, but that's time that I can spend working on other stuff on the boat, and this can be busy working away down in my engine room. That's amazing. I love it. I'm so excited. storming out there. The boat's rocking pretty good, but this machine doesn't seem to mind at all. Just sitting here carving away. This is a really weird experience to have a CNC machine going on. The boat's rocking. Oh, it's wild. It's wild. But because the machine is so stable and the quality of the fittings is so good, a little bit of gravitational moving around is not going to affect it at all. So, especially not if I'm just making a grill. Hi, cutie pie. How you doing? Oh, windy. All right. Well, the project's almost done. It did take quite a while. Like, it did take a full 9 hours, like I said it was going to. And of course, I messed up the chamfering a little bit because I put the tool in upside down. It's a simple mistake. Anybody can make it. But if anybody can make it, I definitely would make it. Still, I'm looking forward to it. A few more minutes and this thing will be done. I'm so pumped. Okay, I'm gonna stumble around here as I'm getting blown around. Check it out. It's done. Did I spend 9 hours to make what is essentially a $5 grill? Yeah, basically. But learning experience. This one I actually designed, I actually put up. This is it. The other stuff was like, it came with the machine. All the tools came with the machine. All the example materials came with the machine. But I wanted to try and make something myself because I feel like just pressing play was not quite enough. Honestly, it was so easy starting with the example stuff. I figured this would be a lot more challenging. And it really wasn't. But it was a good excuse to get into their CAM software. Now, it's really great that it comes with all of these extra tools and bits and everything you're going to need for probably the first year or more of using this machine. You're not really going to have to buy much else. It comes with spares of everything. It's wild. But what is also really, really cool is that it comes with that CAM software. So CAM software, looking at like Autodesk or something else, like that is incredibly expensive software. And, you know, I'm a pirate on the high seas. I know how it can be done otherwise, but the fact that it came with CAM software that's also set up for this machine, that already has tooling specs and everything already programmed into it, so that all I had to punch in was the dimensions and the size and type of my material I was going to cut, and then just selecting what tools I wanted to cut it with. And I can kind of go through the list of tools and see like, oh, if I go with this tool, it's smaller, but it cuts slower, etc., etc. Really dead simple. I could have gone with a bunch of different tools that it was offered in the kit, but I selected one and it worked out perfectly. And I don't think that would have happened had they not done the work on the programming side. So big ups to Makera for the software side of things. The hardware is faultless. It's amazing. I'm really loving it. The fact that they've come out with a cheaper version of their Carvera and making the Carvera Air with slightly less features, but most of all the same capabilities, amazing. And the software that goes with it will pay for itself through and through. So I'm going to go install my new part. Now that I've done the CAD work, I can go and print off like a dozen more of these if I want. Really excited about that too. So thank you so much to Makera for sponsoring this episode. The link, as always, guys, is in the description. Expect to see this machine in a lot of videos coming up. I'm going to be doing a lot on this, especially this winter. Let's get to it. See you guys next week.